if you want to preserve democracy as we know it, you have to have a free and many times adversarial press. And without it, I'm afraid that we would lose so much of our individual liberties over time. That's how dictators get started.
It's fake, phony.
Fake news. This fake news was indeed fake news.
A few years ago, the phrase was hardly known. Now, fake news has its own parliamentary report, and its findings are stark.
You are fake news.
They are fake.
In Tampa, Florida, Tuesday night, at a rally for a Republican candidate for governor of that state, President Trump continued to hammer many of his favorite targets, including the news media. But this time, the crowd took their cue from the president, shouting down CNN correspondent Jim Acosta when he was trying to do a live report about the rally.
You can hear there is a chorus of boos and other chants from this Trump crowd here in Tampa, Florida. They're saying things like CNN sucks, go home, and fake news. Wolf, obviously, all of those things are false. We're staying right here. We're going to do our job and report on this rally to all of our viewers here tonight.
No, folks, stick with us. Stick with us. Amazing. But remember, they have the biggest, best, strongest lobbyists, and they're doing a number. Just stick with us. Don't believe the see from these people, the fake news.
President Trump doubling down against the media after a meeting he had with the publisher of the New York Times at the White House. The president sent out a tweet. Fake news has morphed into the phrase enemy of the people. Then A.G. Sulzberger, who's the publisher of the Times, fires back saying, I told him that although the phrase fake news is untrue and harmful, I am far more concerned about his labeling journalists the enemy.
No, I take real exception to this language, enemy of the people, because if you look at that term historically, it is just basic, full-on dictator speak. I mean, it was used by Hitler, it was used by Stalin, it was used initially by Nero, it's probably used by Putin, and the suggestion somehow that one of the bedrocks of our democracy, which is freedom of the press, one of the bedrocks of our Constitution, for this president to say that the news media, I mean, he tries to couch it in fake news media, are the enemy of the people. I think we should all be really terrified of that, because he says it over and over and over again, and I think from what you're saying, it's been effective. If you still have 60-something% of people backing him up, I mean, why are we not more
We are
afraid?
fighting the fake news. It's fake, phony, fake. They are the enemy of the people. They have no sources. They just make them up. They're very dishonest people.
Tone is such hatred. But I'm having a good time. Tomorrow they will say, Donald Trump rants and raves at the press. I'm not ranting and raving. I'm just telling you, you're dishonest people.
Assault on the constitutionally protected free speech was launched by the same White House. An assault that is as unprecedented as it is unwarranted. The enemy of the people was how the President of the United States called the free press in 2017.
Bueno, señores de Globovisión, yo les voy a alertar delante del país en cadena nacional de radio y televisión. Yo les recomiendo que se tomen un calmante, que cojan mínimo, porque si no, yo les voy a aplicar el mínimo. No habrá nueva concesión para ese canal golpista de televisión que se llamó Radio Caracas Televisión. Se acaba la concesión. Ya está redactado la medida, así que vayan preparándose.
Ron Paul issued a scathing rebuke on the so-called war on fake news by the mainstream media. Manila Chan is joining us now tonight with the details. Manila?
Hi, Ed. That's right. The unabashed libertarian Ron Paul minces no word, saying this is an assault on the First Amendment. He says this is a form of censorship and that the government is seeking to become gatekeepers to alternate voices. Now, to be clear, it's not that Dr. Paul is saying that these fake news sources are reliable, nor is he remotely saying there's any shred of credibility to them. What Dr. Paul is saying is that these fake news stories are nothing more than typical internet hoaxes that are easily disproved, and that the onus is on the reader to verify credibility, that it's not the place of the government to tell people what they can or cannot read, or further, what they can or cannot believe. Now, Dr. Paul went on to say that the danger of this tacit censorship puts access power in the hands of few tasked with curating what people may read or see online. He seems to be drawing a direct link from that to government control over censoring anything the political establishment finds displeasing.
Pope Francis is joining the debate over the media, telling Catholic reporters that bad journalism is, quote, a very serious sin. This, says the pontiff, includes disinformation, what some might call fake news, defamation, one-sided reports, sensationalized news, and taking old news that's been dealt with and bringing it back to life today.
They may not see eye to eye on issues like capitalism and immigration, but when it comes to fake news, Pope Francis is on the same page with President Trump.
The Pope warning journalists, quote, you shouldn't fall into the sins of communication, disinformation, or giving just one side, calumny that is sensationalized, or defamation, looking for things that are old news and have been dealt with and bringing them to light today.
Here to react, Fox News religion contributor Father Jonathan Morris. Okay, so Father,
wow,
is the Pope on the Trump train when it comes to fake news?
On the Trump train.
Is the Pope on the Trump train?
So hard.
I can't promise you that he is, and on everything, certainly on some things. But what he's saying here, I think, is very similar to what President Trump has said, that in today's age, it's so easy to disseminate things that aren't true, or else doing things that might be true, but just that don't help the common good, right?